Western Sydney University is a major urban university spread over 10 campuses with around 45,000 students. Sirius people, in partnership with Western Sydney University, have the following core values. Boldness in our thinking and actions make a difference in the lives of others. Fairness in the policies of the university impacts university staff and students and the broad community. Integrity through academic freedom fosters a respectful environment for robust debate and diversity. Excellence through empowerment is embedded in what the university does and how they do it. Western Sydney University values are defined by who they are and what they expect and encourage in each other. They are lived and embedded in the behaviours of everyone within the university community. WSU values represent a commitment to the students, people and communities, both locally and globally. Welcome and thank you for supervising examinations at Western Sydney University. Your role plays a vital part in assisting Western Sydney University students on their journey to graduation. As a valued member of our extended team, there are lots of things to remember during the WSU exam session. Sirius people are your employer. Sirius is here to support you in your role, and this includes assisting you with questions you have in relation to exam procedures, the university, any pay queries or staff-related matters, and we always welcome your feedback. The Supervisor's Examination Manual contains vital information, including general policies and instructions, and where you need to go when you first arrive on campus. A copy of the exam manual will be made available at each of the exam centre offices at Kingswood and Parramatta for you. Our dress code can be found in your manual. Please adhere to this dress code as it helps set the standard of the professional exam environment. Ensure that you read all communication we send to you. It may contain important updates regarding locations or exam procedures. And if you are sick or running late, please call Sirius on the numbers listed in your manual. Our goal is to ensure exams start on time with minimal stress to students, so immediate notification is imperative so we can get someone to cover your shift. During an exam session, you may be assigned various roles such as Supervisor in Charge or SIC, Assistant Supervisor, Exam Centre Officer, Float Supervisor, or Individual Exam Arrangement, IEA, or Scribe or Readers. All roles have the full support of Western Sydney University, Sirius people, and your fellow team members. If you ever feel uncertain or require additional assistance to create a smooth, stress-free exam environment for the students, please do not hesitate to seek help from your team. Here are some procedure reminders and tips to assist you during the exam session. Greet students with a smile and remain calm and respectful in stressful situations. Treat students as adults and provide reassurance when needed. Contribute to an equitable working and learning environment. The university is committed to providing an environment free from unlawful discrimination, unlawful harassment, vilification, victimisation, and unlawful adverse action, and ensuring that students are treated with integrity and respect. Be professional and empathetic to Western students. They are our key stakeholder. Give all students the same exam experience. Report any instances of racism or discrimination as they will not be tolerated. Upon arrival, thoroughly check your exam pack. Check the contents, the number of items, and be familiar with what materials are permitted during the exam. If you are supervising an IEA exam, make sure that you read and understand the student's provisions and ensure that you have all resources before leaving the exam centre office. If something is missing, please advise the ECO immediately. If a student identifies a problem on their exam paper or with the materials permitted, contact the ECO for assistance. An exam condition report should also be completed. How you handle the student ID verification process is extremely important, as it can cause students an immense amount of distress if they are turned away only to find out that they are allocated to your exam venue. Follow these techniques for student ID verification to minimise disruption. Check the photo on the ID against the student presenting at the door. Students must present a student ID card. If the student cannot present an ID card, then a government ID with a photo can be used. This ID should be in hard copy and not be an electronic version of their government ID. The student must be advised to get a new student ID before their next exam. And check that the ID is signed. If the student is using a student ID and it is not signed, please ask the student to sign the back of the card. This is important as their ID card is used to verify their signature on their attendance slip. Students can use expired ID cards. However, please advise the student that they will need to get a new card before their next exam. Check the student details on the ID are on the attendance list. The quickest way to identify the student is searching on the last 4 digits of their student number, then checking their name. If you are unable to find their details on the attendance list, ask the student to find their name. Once you are confident the student is not on the list, please ask them to visit the Student Services Hub for direction. If a student presents themselves to the room with no ID card, do not let them into the exam room until they have obtained either a replacement or a temporary student ID card from Student Services Hub and they are on your attendance list. If a student arrives in an exam room and advises that they are ill or have suffered a misadventure, they can choose not to sit the exam. If the student has entered the exam room and started their exam, they have the choice to either continue with the exam or not. If they choose to leave in either situation, then they should be directed to the Student Services Hub for advice on what options are available to them. The supervisor is to make a note on the attendance list against the relevant student's name and indicate 1. If a student has decided to not enter the room due to illness, make a note, arrived sick, did not sit exam. Or 2, student has fallen ill during the exam and chooses not to continue the exam due to illness. Make a note, illness during exam, and note the time the student left the exam room. A supervisor must not offer an opinion or advice as to whether the student should commence or continue their exam, and should not administer any type of medication. Advise the student to go to Student Services Hub and advice on what their options are. Students should be seated in the exam room, ready to begin the exam at the scheduled start time. Under no circumstances are students to be admitted to the exam room after the first 30 minutes of the exam. If a student does arrive after this time, they should be referred to Student Services Hub and noted on the attendance list. No extra time is provided for students who arrive late for an exam within the first 30 minutes. Be alert! If you suspect collusion or cheating, handle the situation discreetly and professionally, with minimal disruption to the rest of the students. When reporting incidents, be clear and stick to the facts. At the end of the exam, you must ensure that all exam papers are collected and carefully collated into the correct order. The order that you must return papers is included in your manual. All exam papers and materials must be returned to the exam centre office after the exam, including swipe cards and stationery packs. You should return with the SIC and assistants altogether. All supervisors must work together in all exam rooms, allowing assistants to make announcements and complete reports, working together in a collaborative way to encourage skill development for all staff. Western Sydney University has a legal responsibility to provide reasonable exam adjustments, as well as the commitment to supporting students with disabilities. Both the university and supervisors have a legal responsibility under the Disability Discrimination Act of 1992 and the Disability Standards for Education 2005 to provide reasonable adjustments. This support extends to providing reasonable exam adjustments, such as including scribes, readers, specialised equipment, electronic text, software, individual or group rooms, and adaptive technology. Roles for IEA exams include the supervisor in charge, assistant supervisor, scribe, reader, exam supervisor using a computer, or combinations of the above. Scribes and readers assist students in individual rooms and also serve as the exam supervisor. Before and during exams, supervisors, readers, and scribes are to review the additional requirements. Scribes should bring the necessary stationery and should meet the student 15 minutes before the exam. Ensure you have a clear understanding of the student's requirements and speech. During exams, transcribe student answers verbatim, provide no additional assistance, make no comments or questions on content, allow the student to review answers, and ensure no simultaneous writing with the student. readers agree on reading methods with the student, organise seating arrangements, offer rest breaks, and consider taking water to avoid a dry throat. At all times, respect student privacy by refraining from inquiring about their disabilities. Students have undergone assessment with the disability services, and exams are incredibly stressful for these students. For students with disability or chronic health conditions, their condition may be exacerbated due to the additional stress and anxiety of exam situations. Follow the guidelines to support students during the stress of exams. Have fun and enjoy the experience. Supervising for Western Sydney University and Sirius people offers a fantastic opportunity in learning new skills and building connections. We are proud to have supervisors who have enjoyed working with us for many years.